Parents watch their baby's milestones very closely. So what happens if your child is a late bloomer? Well, Jessica Hartshorn from American Baby Magazine is here to give us some perspective when it comes to walking and talking. Great to have you as always.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, before we get into specific examples, let's talk about one of the most frustrating things that happens when your child hits their milestones a little late. It's family and friends. They have questions. They want to give you advice. What do you do to deal with that?
I know, like what else do people talk to you about when you have a kid who's right about at the first birthday? What is he talking yet? Is he walking
He's not
yet?
walking.
Has he taken his first
yet.
steps? Like that's the first thing in every conversation. You're like, no.
I'll let you know when he does, though.
Exactly.
Right.
Only about half of kids have taken their first step by their first birthday, and only about half are saying one word plus ma and da, by their first birthday. Hit those milestones after the first birthday, but until they hit those milestones, you're going to keep getting the questions, and all you can say is, no. And if people, follow up, are you worried? The best thing to say is, no, we're checking in with the doctor. The doctor's not worried. We're not worried either.
Or it wasn't until you asked me the question. Now I'm a little worried. No, but just tell them, we'll let you know.
Don't let them make you crazy.
Good. Yeah.
Because your baby's on his own schedule or her own schedule. And every baby has their own sort of timeline for when they're going to hit things. Some babies are a little more relaxed than others, a little more laid back. Or some babies are so focused on learning to talk that they're not actually motivated to get up and also learn to walk. It's a lot going on for a 1-year-old.
Okay, back to talking for just a second. What's the average age, again, that a child talks?
Well, it's a long process.
Yeah, exactly.
Because first they have to learn to understand the language, and that happens about 6 months before they actually start to speak the language. So one way to find out if your 1-year-old is moving along in the language skills, if you say, like, where's mommy? Where's the dog? And they look in the right place, they're understanding.
Right.
Then you've got about another 6 months maybe until they can start to say dog or start to speak and communicate back with you. But most kids are talking by about their 2nd birthday.
So you really shouldn't worry if they're not talking right away.
Right. And you have to, you can check in with the doctor again. But, I'd say like 16 months, maybe you're worried because your child only has 1 or 2 words. The doctor's going to check for hearing difficulties first and check in to make sure everything else is developmentally normal. But there's no emergency if your child's not talking by the 2nd birthday. Actually, Albert Einstein didn't talk until well after his 2nd birthday.
Wasn't he 5 or something?
Or 3, I don't know. The reports vary, but it was definitely not at 2. So, then you're really looking for the vocabulary to sort of explode around the 2nd birthday. And only if that doesn't happen should you again be checking in with the doctor. Maybe you're not just giving them enough time to talk. Sometimes families end up doing the talking for the baby,
And how do you encourage them to talk? What can you do as a parent?
You step back. Instead of saying, do you want milk or juice? You know what the juice? You make them say the word. What do you want to drink? Maybe hold the 2 up and see if they can, find the motivation to say milk, or to, giving them the chance and the space to talk sometimes means stepping back. It means every routine takes longer, trying to give them the time to use their words. But the other great thing is reading books to them. Teaches a huge range of vocabulary, and also gives you the opportunity to point and name, tree, house, everything in the book.
So work with them.
Right. You're labeling things around the house. You're narrating what you're doing. Now I'm cooking. What are you doing? And whether or not they answer back, you're giving them the opportunity to try and talk to you.
So let's move on to walking now.
Right.
You touched on it in the beginning, but what's the average age?
Well, here's one again.
Exactly. Okay.
It can be like 8 months old. It can be 18 months old. My son was really motivated to follow his big sister, so he started pushing her potty seat around as a way to walk when he was like 8 months old. But I've met other people, our art director's kid didn't walk till about 15 months, and we quote some moms in the story where it was more like 18 months.
So how can you help them get on their feet?
Yeah, you can prop them up so they're standing, and then walk away, see if they'll start toddling a little. You hold their hand and help them walk, keep them barefoot.
They travel around the perimeter of the house and the furniture.
Exactly. Barefoot walking is actually a little easier, and basically you just don't push them. You don't need to buy a walker toy or anything. You can buy a push-behind toy that gives them some support, but you don't really need to train them to walk. They will eventually do it.
So it's okay to be a little late, but is there ever a time that you should worry and talk to your doctor?
Yeah, if you get to 18 months and they're still not walking, you just want to go to the doctor to make sure that the reflexes are there, the muscle tone is there. Also, we're seeing this phenomenon now of babies who don't crawl. Like a lot of babies just
start walking.
From like sitting to walking.
Which is amazing.
Which is fine too.
Yeah.
But if your baby is an expert crawler, that might give them a little less motivation to walk.
To actually walk.
Because they can crawl everywhere so fast. So, again, the variety of what's going on is just huge.
So bottom line, don't worry. And if you do have a concern, talk to your doctor.
Yeah, your doctor especially can just reassure you that everything's going fine and your baby will get there.
Jessica, thank you so much. Always great to have you with us. And for more great parenting advice, pick up a copy of American Baby Magazine. Thank you so much for watching Parents TV. We'll see you soon.